Hello everyone, my name is Wilson, and we are doing a Legacy Cube Draft on Magic Online. You can check out my stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, ending at about 8 at Twitch. I forgot where I was. Twitch.tv/CrewmanWilson. Alright, let's get down to this. This looks like a big old mess. Right click on anywhere in the white field, sort by color, and let's do this for reals. Alright. We got some good cards in here. I find that I value Rakdos Return higher than most. This pack overall is pretty weak. There is like a Wood Elves, Liliana, Inquisition, like aforementioned Rakdos Return, which is just bananas good, and then Vendilion Click. And I think I'm going to take Vendilion Click here. This cube is, a little bit more aggressive, and being able to just get out there with Vendilion Clicks, I feel like, is where you want to start off. All right. Followed Vendilion Click up with Liliana of the Veil. So Liliana is good. Having a 3-drop with double blue and then a 3-drop with double black is a little rough. There is this Temple of Deceit, and I think in the last pack there was an Underground Sea. That may wheel. But we could pick up this Liliana. I think it's better than Ponder, definitely better than Delver. Don't put Delver in your cube decks, by the way. If you're thinking about making your own cube deck, don't put Delver in it. It's the wrong choice. Do not put Delver in your cube. I'm happy to see Guiltleaf Winnower in the cube. I think Guiltleaf Winnower is great. Kills all kinds of different things. Flip Delvers being one of them. But I'm going to take this Liliana. Liliana is just so powerful. And, if we don't play with Vendilion Click, Liliana is just great on its own. We can follow that up with something like Shieldred. We can also do like Supreme Verdict if we want to keep going down the Vendilion Click route. We could even do kind of like an Esper control deck, which is pretty good. So we could pick up Shieldred if we want to be like a Reanimator route. There's also Armageddon. Armageddon is just sweet. Armageddon is totally sweet. I don't think there's any bad choices here, but I think it's between these 4. And it is much harder going into white, especially double white with what we have. So let's see. What do we take here? It also could be Murderous Cut. There are a lot of creatures in this cube. Things like, Shieldred. You can just Murderous Cut them. I'm going to take the Supreme Verdict. I'm really feeling like going down real control routes. And, we may not play this Liliana of the Veil, because now we're just seeing, like, white is super open. There's also a Wormcoil Engine. Wormcoil Engine's great. Wormcoil Engine is super good. Things like Linvala, while they're not so good in the Power Cube, I feel like in this cube they're very, very good. There is a Temple of Silence, the Temple of Scrylence. Yeah. But I think we're going to pick up this Wormcoil Engine. It's just too good. If I want anything to wheel here, I think I want the Bruna to wheel. I'd also be super happy with the Linvala or even the land. But I'm going to take this Wormcoil Engine. This is looking less likely, but it's still very much a thing that we could be doing, is Liliana. We just picked up a 6-drop, so I don't know if I want this Massacre Worm. There is a Thalia, Heretic Cathar, which I haven't played in cube, but I can assume with all the non-basic lands and creature-centric cubes like this one, I feel like Thalia is probably good. Serendipity Freed is also good, but it's more for like a beatdown deck. I think we want to do Thalia here. There's also like Mishra's Factory, which is good after a Supreme Verdict. Also, Wormcoil Engine is very resilient with Supreme Verdict. Just saying. Yeah, I'm going to take this Thalia. I haven't tried it out yet, but I would like to see how it does. Alright, there is a Sun Titan. There's a Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix is fine. It gets us back into that Esper plan. There's also things that are unplayable like Desecration Demon and red and green cards, but I think it's between Baleful Strix and Sun Titan, and it's how much do we want to play this Liliana. We did see some mana fixing go by that could make Liliana playable, such as the Temple of Silence and the Temple of I think it's Decree, the blue-black one. Like, we could play both of those. That said, I think I want Sun Titan. We already have 2 good 3s. This is pushing me further away from Liliana. Ooh, Sphinx's Rev. Okay, so maybe we don't want to be Liliana-ing. But maybe we definitely want to be Sphinx's Revving. I don't think these white cards are where we want to be at. Silent Visitor could be good with Liliana, but Sphinx's Revelation is just the boodles. Ooh, and a Hallowed Fountain? Just a free Hallowed Fountain? Alright, I'll take that. There are the Esper duels out there. They are there. But picking up this Hallowed Fountain right now is great. See, Rakdos Return. Just no respect for Mind Twist or Fireball. So in Power Cube, Mind Twist is black X target player discards X cards at random. And the random part is relevant. But in regular cube, if you just add 1 more to that, you're doing X damage, and then they're discarding X cards. Like, that's Rakdos Return. It's so good. This card is so good. That said, I think we want to take Mutavault. It's good with doing things like Sun Titan, but to like swing it in and then get it back. But yeah, we're gonna take Mutavault here. Although that may not be the right choice if we do end up doing Liliana things. There is a Temple of Deceit. I'm going to pick that up. There is still a chance that we play Liliana, and like we're not missing out on a whole lot by taking Blade Splicer or Johnny, or even Guiltleaf Winnower. And this just can like open up avenues of doing really great things. Armageddon plus Sun Titan? Yes, please. There's also Revelark, which we could get nothing that's currently in our deck right now. But Revelark is good. I'm going to take this Armageddon, though. Just a timely Armageddon is so great. Wow. Linvala wheeled. Temple of Silence also wheeled. That's very real. We could play this Liliana and just go more of an Esper deck. God, Linvala is so great, though. No, I'm going to take the Silence. I'm going to take the Skylance. It's great. We already have the Mutavault, so I don't really want the Mishra's Factory, but these two are just unplayable. I'll take the Workshop just in case we want to be doing that. And I'll take the Spear of Heliod and Cammy. Cammy's actually good if your opponent's playing things like... A lot of Reanimator decks revolve around enchantments. Animate Dead, Necromancy, Diabolic Servitude. So it's good to bring in Cammies for decks like those, because then you can, really just cut off an entire strategy for them to go down. All right, what do we have here? We have Chromatic Lantern, which is good with both Armageddon and mana restrictions. There is Jace, Seagate Oracle, Baneslayer Angel is totally fine. Crux of Fate, Shriekmaw. I kind of want this Chromatic Lantern. Chromatic Lantern would be good. Although this would be ramping us up into 5, and we don't really have any 5-drops at this point. Maybe we just want Jace, Architect of Thought? This Mutavault is looking sketchy, because our mana base is going to be... I mean, our mana base right now is pretty fine. Let's see. Yeah, I think probably Chromatic Lantern is good. It's going to be so good with things like Armageddon and, ramping us up into some of these bigger things that we want to be doing that. Okay, so there's a Temple of Enlightenment, Temple of Inscritenland, I don't know. Moloku, which is really only good if you have opposition. Skinrender, Rager, Hero's Downfall, these are all cards. Banisher Priest. I think I want to take this Temple of Enlightenment. It's just such a good duel for us, and all of these cards are very, I don't know, they're just kind of middling removal spells, or like, not great. Well, if we just pick up some mana fixing, it's going to help us later on choosing cards that are, actually tough to choose between. Like, if you pick up mana fixing, what I'm trying to say is if you pick up mana fixing in pack 1 and 2, pack 3, you can just say like, okay, well, here's like, three or four really good cards that we want to take. Oh, but there's mana fixing. We're, priced now into taking that. And now we have to just let all these go. That said, there is a Godless Shrine here. There is a Mana War, which is good with Sun Titan, Into the Royal, or sorry, Journey into Nowhere. I mean, I'm kind of feeling this Godless Shrine. I'm kind of feeling it. Mana War could be good. We're getting a little clogged up on 3s. We could just take a 2-drop removal spell. You know, I'm going to take this Godless Shrine, because if we do get a fetch land, like say we get like a, white, like a Windswept Heath, a white-green fetch land, we can take that, and then it becomes a white-green-blue fetch land with Godless Shrine and Hallowed Fountain. I'm also just happy having these two and just, moving on with our lives. Gilded Lotus is a great card. We're definitely taking Gilded Lotus. Being able to ramp up into Giant Sphinx's Revelations, is very good. And it's also just much better than, well, not much better than some of the other cards in this pack. Like, I really like Unexpectedly Absent, and Cyclonic Rift, this is more of like an EDH card. Like, I don't know how many times you're overloading this for 7 in the cube as we're picking up Gilded Lotus. How many times you're overloading this for 7, and it's just like, it's just okay. Otherwise it's just like a boomerang. We'll take Gilded Lotus. Upheaval, Ravages of War, Hangerback Walker. Wow, these are all good. So let's see. If we take Upheaval, we have Chromatic Lantern and Gilded Lotus. That's okay. If we take Ravages of War, we already have the Armageddon, so I'm not really down for that. We could just take Hangerback Walker, which is also very resilient to things like Supreme Verdict. It's also just a good place to put mana every turn. Okay. Yeah, I've talked myself into Hangerback Walker. I think that'll be fine. Alright. Let's get these sorted out. Hangerback Walker. Alright, what do we have? Flooded Strand. See, Flooded Strand can now get white-blue, obviously, but now it can also get black. That's great. Good to see Ever After in the cube. This has a lot of good synergies, both with getting 2 creatures back and also making them zombies. There's also Impulse and Mana Tithe. I think, though, I just want this mana fixing and just make our deck just so easy to play. Because now we can pick up something like Deep Analysis or Selfless Spirit or even Far and Away. Far and Away is kind of wild. Selfless Spirit, though, with Supreme Verdict is kind of a combo, so I'm going to do that. That sounds fantastic. Deep Analysis is very good, but this is also just like a good beater. Wall of Omens, Quarantine Field, Curse Scroll, maybe Chainer's Edict. I think maybe just the Wall of Omens. It's just a good speed bump. Gets us up into our, big mana cards. Yeah, that's good. Wow, Baneslayer wield. We do have Crux of Fate, which is good with Selfless Spirit and Hangerback Walker and Wormcoil Engine and Sun Titan, getting back all those cards. Baneslayer Angel is just like a good giant creature. There are other Wraths in this cube, such as Wrath of God, and we don't have any synergies with non-dragons, so I'm going to take this Baneslayer Angel. Just really go upstairs. Alright, I'll take the Banisher Priest. I don't know if we're going to play it. Ooh, I'll definitely play this Journey to Nowhere. There's also a Maria Angel. We do have 1 fetch land. But I'm just going to take this Journey to Nowhere. Just a good solid removal spell. Speaking of good solid removal spells, I love Unexpectedly Absent. Wow, Ravages wield. Okay, so 2 Armageddons. Not bad, not bad. Ooh, and a Mana Tithe. We could play Mana Tithe. I don't know if we're going to play Abhorrent Overlord, but yeah, this is looking pretty good. There's 19 cards, 19 playable cards here. We have a good mana base. We could probably pick up some more black cards. We're definitely set up to do that. Right now, we just have the Liliana. Well, there are black cards to pick up in this pack, but I'm looking at, like, Elspeth. Elspeth is pretty good. There's also a Tundra. Tundra is great. We already have the Hallowed Fountain, so it's a little redundant along with the Flooded Strand. I think we just want Elspeth. I mean, Elspeth is just such an amazing, amazing finisher. Just some decks just can't deal with it. It's just, you know, it wins the game by itself, which not a whole lot of other cards can do. Tundra, I mean, can do that, win the game by itself, allowing you to play your spells. But Elspeth is just the boodles. So we're going to take Elspeth. Now, so I'm looking at a couple of cards in this pack. I'm looking at cards like Careful Consideration is interesting. Read the Bones is actually what I'm looking at. Because Read the Bones will be able to draw us into a bunch of other stuff. We can definitely play it. We do have already 4 black lands that can, you know, help us play this. We do need double black for Liliana, which is a little rough. Maybe, you know, one more piece of mana fixing with black in it. Maybe like a Watery Grave. Maybe we already saw that. I'm going to take this Read the Bones. I think Read the Bones is just great for our deck. Dragon Lord Ojutai. Path to Exile. Other cards. I think it's between Dragon Lord Ojutai and Path to Exile. We already have a pretty good top end. And our removal spells are like Journey to Nowhere, Liliana, Banisher Priest, which is bad with Supreme Verdict. We can Banisher Priest our own creature, and then Supreme Verdict, and then just have a creature left over. I'm going to take this Path to Exile. I think we already have enough of a good top end where we don't need Dragon Lord Ojutai. And just getting another, like, very decent removal spell is very decent. So, there's a Day of Judgment, which is pretty good for our deck. Just getting another one. If we're picking up a Day of Judgment, I'm probably going to cut this Banisher Priest. I don't see anything else here that we want to pick up, though. So, yeah, I'm going to take this Day of Judgment, cut the Banisher Priest for now. But still be open to things that we could do. Elspeth plus Mirror Entity is great. I also just like Mirror Entity as a card. I think there's a lot of good thought exercises with Mirror Entity of what you can do. Right now I'm not seeing anything other than just like overrunning your team that we can do that's broken with Mirror Entity. No. We could take like a Threads of Disloyalty. It's very interesting. I was able to play Threads of Disloyalty on the Profane Prince, the Westphal Abbey, when it's flipped over. Played it on that. Bam. You know, we could pick up Attrition, but I think Threads of Disloyalty is fine. Wow, Spell Queller? Spell Queller is great. Spell Queller is less good with these Supreme Verdicts, though. And Day of Judgments. That is a point. That said, Spell Queller is just great. Yeah, we'll take Spell Queller. Let's see. Army in a Can. Or just cans. Just garbage. Yeah, maybe Army in a Can. But I'm gonna... maybe it's Oust. Oust is pretty good. Oust just messes up with so many, like... messes up just so many, like, Reanimator strategies that I think that's good. Here's, like, a Wrath of God. It's better than Day of Judgment. Let's see. We do have to cut a card. Maybe we cut the Threads. How good is Wrath of God over Day of Judgment? I'm thinking of things like Thrun. I mean, I don't think I'm going to play... Yeah, maybe I play Hidden Dragon Slayer. Wow, Tundra Wield? Come on. There are other good cards in this pack, but I don't think any of them are better than Tundra. That's an amazing pickup. I don't like land tax. Declaration of the Stone can be good against things like dragon fodders. So we'll pick up that. Sublime Archangel is good too. Especially with like the Elspeth tokens. My. Yeah, I think we have to pick up Sublime Archangel. I mean, I'm not playing any of the other ones. Quarter Paladin. No, let's pick up Rashadan Port. Port is good. Yeah. Not playing against that. I'll play Elixir. And last but not least, Lava Claw Reaches. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm not playing the Spell Queller because really, having 2 Day of Judgment, Wrath of Gods, like, that's terrible. Spell Quellering and then just wrathing it away. So I don't want to be in that situation, so I put in Sublime Archangel. I think that'll be fine, especially with, like, Elspeth tokens, Wormquill engines. You know, it can also just, like, be a 5/4 flyer itself, which, you know, if we could also just, like, get in a hit with Baneslayer Angel and it's, you know, +2 Exalted, like, getting him for 7 is huge. So I'm going to do that. I think this is going to be great, and we'll see you all for round 1.